Hey guys, welcome back to Southern Gal True Crime. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. If this is your first time here, thank you very much for dropping in for a visit. I feature missing persons, cold cases, some current true crime in the news, and more. The majority of the cases that I cover or that I share are lesser known cases. They're not the big high profile cases that are um, in the media 24/7. Um, but tonight we are going to be taking a look at a case that did get a lot of national attention. We're going to revisit the Morgan Nick case from Alma, Arkansas from 1995. Um, Early on, when I first started my channel, I did a video, but I would like to think that I've at least improved a little bit on my video making skills. So I decided to revisit and go over it again. It's been a while since any new videos or information has come out about Morgan's case. It is probably the biggest case, missing persons case in Arkansas, aside from the West Memphis 3 case. And that, Lord knows, that's been beat to death. I think I have done, when I first started, I did do a video on West Memphis 3, but so you can check out my playlist. It's in there if you're interested in watching it. Please, like I said, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and check the bell, notification bell to all so you won't miss any new videos that I upload. I try to upload 1 to 2 videos a week, usually on Wednesdays and Fridays. Sometimes I'll do kind of a lighten it up a little bit on Sundays, and do some chill time with true crime, as I call it. We like to take a look at some dumb criminals and just some weird crimes out there and things of that nature. But anyway, I will be bringing you all the information, details, and the timeline of Morgan's case. But first, as always, I feature a missing person. Let me get this full screen so I can read, because I'm getting a little bit older, and even with my glasses, I can't see so well. This information comes from neverforgottenarkansas.gov, which is the Arkansas Missing Persons Database. And tonight's missing person is Samson Billiot. He is just 16 years old. He is a white male, 6 foot, 167 pounds, with green eyes and brown hair. He went missing very recently, August 8th of this year, or excuse me, August 5th of this year. So it's a very fresh case. I wanted to get this information out as quickly as possible, to try to do a little part in trying to help find this young man, hopefully bring him home safe. He went missing from Hot Springs, Arkansas. And so if you have any information on Samson or his disappearance, you can contact the Hot Springs Police Department at 501-321-6789. And as always, I will put a link to this information in the description box. So I encourage you, please share it anywhere and everywhere to help get this information out to as many people as possible. All right, with that very important information taken care of, we will go to our, come on, let me get everything going here, to our case of the night. All right, like I said, we're going to be revisiting the Morgan Nick case. Morgan was born on September 12th, 1988, and she disappeared on June 9th, 1995 from Alma, Arkansas. She had attended a Little League baseball game with her mother, Colleen. At some point during the ball game, she had wanted to go out to the parking area with some of her friends to try to catch fireflies, or as we call them down here, lightning bugs. Her mother, Colleen, was a little apprehensive, didn't want to let her go at first, but she finally let her go out there. And she went there with several friends. They were out playing, chasing the fireflies. When it got close to the ball game ending, her friends came back to the bleacher area, but Morgan was not with them. So, of course, Colleen inquired as to where Morgan was, and the friends said that she had stopped to empty some sand and dirt out of her shoes, and so they went ahead without her. And Morgan was never seen again, unfortunately. Now, Colleen, come on, there we go. Colleen has said, as far as letting Morgan go out to play with her friends, she said, finally, against my better judgment, I told her that she could go and play. She threw her arms around my neck. She gave me a big hug. We could see them very clearly. And the last time that I turned around to look, Morgan was running back and forth playing. Now, later on, I do have a graphic that shows the layout of the football field and the area where the children went to play at. It wasn't like it was a long way from, this was a small baseball park. The parking area was kind of on a little rise from where the field and the bleacher area were. And they could see the children from the bleacher area. Colleen goes on to say, it is the worst terror that any parent can ever feel. There's such a sense of it not being real. It does not seem possible that your child could be missing, that someone could have taken your child. And I don't have any children, but I have helped raise many nieces and nephews. And just if any of them or any member of my family ever went missing, it would just destroy me, honestly. Thankfully, I've never had any of family members go missing. I have lost one member of my family to self-harm. So that is, of course, traumatizing. But knock on wood, like I said, I've never had any family member that has gone missing or has been killed. So after searching for Morgan to no avail, Colleen eventually she wanted to ensure that no one would ever have to experience a missing child. So she founded the Morgan Nick Foundation to educate people on how to handle a missing child. And actually, here in Arkansas, the Amber Alert was renamed to the Morgan Nick Amber Alert in honor of Morgan. And the Morgan Nick Foundation does a lot of good work. Advocates for missing children and their families. Not only do they feature help with missing children, but also with missing adults. And they work closely with with NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So, like I said, they do a lot of good work. I implore you to go check out. They have a website. You can just Google Morgan Nick Foundation, and it will bring it right up. All right, so the timeline. So this is actually starting. So Morgan went missing on the evening of June 9th, but on the morning of June 9th, there was another abduction attempt of a child in Alma. A person matching the description of Morgan's abductor, which they would find out later. They would go back, and after Morgan was abducted, they would go back and look at this case. And like I said, the person that attempted this first abduction matched the description of Morgan's abductor and attempted to kidnap a small child at a laundromat by luring him into his car, but it was unsuccessful, thank goodness. It is unclear how old, I could never find how old this child was that was abducted, and apparently the child ran away. I'm assuming an adult or a parent was with them and the authorities were notified. But like I said, there wasn't a lot of information released. Of course, they're not going to release the name of the minor because they just don't do that, understandably. So we will move to Morgan's disappearance. So at 10:45, Morgan is at the baseball field with her mother in Alma, Arkansas. And you can look at the picture on the right. In the very bottom left-hand corner, you can see the baseball field area. And then just right above that where it says abduction site, that is the parking lot where the children were playing. Now, I think this is a more recent picture, but at the time of Morgan's disappearance, this parking lot was not paved. It was just like a dirt and sand area. And like I said, it was kind of like on a little rise, but it was visible from the baseball field. Now, what's interesting is if you look over to the right, just 1 block away was the police department. So whoever took Morgan from this baseball field was very brazen, knowing that the police department was just 1 block away. So I found that very interesting and very scary that this person just didn't really faze them to know that the police could be there at any second and he could possibly have been caught while he was abducting Morgan. So Morgan is abducted from the Little League game by an unknown man. She was at the game with her mother and asked if she could step away to catch fireflies with her friends. Morgan is last seen by her mother. Well, it says by her mother. The last time Morgan saw her mother was when her and her friends were running towards the parking lot. Witnesses, so the kids were out playing, catching fireflies, doing what kids do. And witnesses observed an unidentified man watching Morgan while she was playing with her friends. Like I said earlier, in the beginning, was close to the ball game ending. The children were done playing. They were going to go back to the bleacher area to meet back up with their parents. They said when they got back, of course, Morgan wasn't with them. Colleen questioned them about where Morgan was. They said she had stopped by her mom's car, to empty sand out of her shoes, and that there was a creepy man, as they explained it, that had been watching, and witnesses said that they saw this man had been watching Morgan and the children playing. And witnesses also saw a red pickup truck with an attached white trailer cap, which I call it a camper shell. And I have a picture of the actual truck that was seen there that they think might have been the truck that these witnesses saw. And this is the picture. Now, this is a screenshot that was taken from the Still Missing Morgan documentary, and I will put a link to that documentary in the description section. But you see there on the right, that little arrow is the red pickup truck with the camper shell on it, and then on the right, there is just a close-up of it. Now, some people say that this camper shell is not actually a camper shell. Some people say that it looks more like a storm door or a screen door that you would have on a house. Um, I can't tell really one way or the other. But to me, it does look like a camper shell. Um, when we were little, my grandparents had a pickup truck with a camper shell on the back of it, and it looked a whole lot like this picture. Now, I could be wrong, but there has been much debate about if it was actually the camper shell or something else, a storm door or whatever in the back of the truck. So the unknown suspect on the left there is the police sketch of the unknown suspect. He was described as being white, 6 foot tall, with a medium to solid build, a mustache, a 1 inch beard, and at the time he was believed to be 23 to 38 years old. And that came from witness descriptions from people who saw this man in the parking lot close to where Morgan disappeared from. So, even more interesting, the day after Morgan disappeared, there was another child, and another attempted child abduction in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Once again, a person matching the description of Morgan's abductor approaches a young girl at a convenience store. He grabs her, tries to force her into the men's restroom, but thank God the girl's mother fights off the abductor. Kudos to that mother. But any mother, any mama bear, if somebody's trying to hurt your child, you better watch out, because they will do their best to hurt you. Let's just put it that way. So this is a pattern that is showing up. So the morning before, on June 9th, the morning of June 9th, there was an attempted child abduction. Then on the evening of June 9th, Morgan is abducted. And then the next day, there was another attempted child abduction, all in the same general area. So this is very frightening. So if this is the same person, the same man, the same male, very, very scary. We're just going to go on the assumption that, for a minute, that it is the same one. So he attempts an abduction in the morning. He completes an abduction of Morgan that night. And then the very next day, he attempts another abduction of another child. So if you go on that assumption, you hate to think about it, but you would assume that he didn't succeed with the first abduction on the morning of the 9th. He succeeds with the abduction of Morgan that night. And then with this, if it's the same person, another attempted abduction the next day, you could draw the conclusion that he abducted Morgan, did what he did with her to her. She most likely was deceased within an hour or two of, or the very most a few hours after she was abducted and disposed of somewhere. And even after that, this person still felt the need to abduct another child. And to me, this is the most dangerous of offenders. Apparently, his appetite is his drive to abduct and what is just out of control. That's all I can say. It was out of control, and that is terrifying. All right. So on June 14th, a man is arrested, but he is cleared as a suspect. Mark Waddle was arrested and investigated as a possible suspect in Morgan's disappearance. He was driving a similar truck, but he was later cleared of involvement. And if I remember correctly, in one of the articles I read, he was also questioned in the disappearance and killing of Melissa Witt. Now, last week, I believe I did a video on Melissa Witt, and I will put a link to that video in the description box. I urge you to watch it. Very, very sad case. It's not solved. They did find her body. Not really any. There was maybe a couple of persons of interest, but nothing definitive that they could say this is, definitely the person who did this. And also, if I remember correctly, this Mark Waddle was either convicted of or was known to be a child predator. So, like I said, if you want more information about him, you can just Google his name, and several articles will come up about him. Like I said, he was arrested. I don't know if he was arrested for this, but like I said, he was ultimately cleared of any involvement regarding Morgan's disappearance. Okay, so we fast forward to June 26th, and I'm just going to say it, some idiot calls in a false tip claiming that he had seen Morgan in Stuttgart, Arkansas, which is very far from Alma. Alma is up in northern Arkansas, and Stuttgart is down in the south central part of Arkansas. Actually, I don't live too far from Stuttgart. I live in the general region of central Arkansas. So this idiot calls in this tip. Of course, it's a hoax. So he wasted the police manpower by falsely claiming that he had seen Morgan in Stuttgart. But the search was called off at 4:30 a.m. when this person failed a lie detector test about the truthfulness of his information. So, like I said, idiot. All right, on June 23rd, the town, Alma, puts up roadblocks to monitor and question people that are coming in and out of the town. I don't know why they waited till June 23rd. They could have been doing it before then. They gathered no useful information about the case, but they did make a slew of unrelated arrests for drugs and DWIs. So I guess there's a silver lining to that. All right. Oh, I think I got my slides out of order, but okay. So in August of 1995, this man, Billy Jack Links, tries to abduct a young girl. Now, this is the man that is the prime suspect and person of interest in Morgan's disappearance. So in August of 1995, a young girl, she was getting food with her brothers. They're walking home on the side of the road. A man, allegedly drunk, pulls up alongside the group and starts making sexual comments about the girl. And he's trying to persuade her to get into the car. He flashes money and promises to give it to her if he will come with him to his house. Now, thankfully, the girl screams, runs away, causing the man to speed away, and he crashes into a telephone pole, which was fortunate. Witnesses come forward to the police with the license plate number that was tied to a familiar truck. The truck, which is a red pickup truck with a camper shell, was owned by someone named Billy Jack Links. Billy Jack was an Arkansas native, and he was also convicted of trying to kidnap a young girl from a similar situation as Morgan. So, like I said, this is and has always been the prime suspect and person of interest in Morgan's disappearance. All right, so I will go. Okay, go back to this slide. So, not really much goes on until January of 2002. Police conduct a dig on a private piece of land in Boonville, Arkansas, after they received a tip that claimed that Morgan might have been buried there. Don't know where this tip came from, who gave the tip, but apparently they found it. They said it was so specific that they decided to dig. A police dog was used in the search, but the police ended the investigation at 9:30 p.m. and said they did not intend to return to the property. So apparently they did not find anything of value related to Morgan's case. So we already went over Mr. Billy Jack Links. Fast forward to 2010 in November. Federal investigators searched a vacant house in Spiro, Oklahoma for DNA evidence that could show Morgan had once been in the house. Once again, I don't know where they got, what kind of information they got that would lead them to this location. But evidently something led them there. Then on December 18th of 2017, they returned to the house to conduct another search after they received a tip about the case. Once again, another maybe anonymous tip, who knows. Cadaver dogs did alert investigators to a well that was on the property, which they said was the center of the investigation. Now, the search was called off on December 19th after no evidence was found. And this says as of 2021, but now as of 2023, any new leads in Morgan's disappearance continue to be received and investigated at the local, state, and federal levels. So like I said, the case is still open, ongoing, continuing to get leads. Of course, they're all checked out. Most of them come to nothing, unfortunately. But hopefully one day something of relevance will come in that will help further the investigation. So in November of 2021, Billy Jack Links is formally named as a person of interest. He was named as a person of interest due to his physical proximity, his characteristic match with sightings, and ownership of a similar truck, the red truck with the camper shell that was seen at the baseball field. FBI agents are seeking any information about Billy Jack Links. He was born and raised in Crawford County, Arkansas. He served with the U.S. Army during World War II. And then he worked at Braniff Airlines in Dallas, Texas from 1962 to 1974. He returned to Van Buren, Arkansas sometime in the late 1970s, and approximately 2 months after Morgan's disappearance, he attempted to abduct a young girl in Van Buren at a location that was just 8 miles from the baseball field where Morgan was abducted from. Now, Billy Jack Links died in prison in 2000, so he has never, of course, been able to be questioned about Morgan's disappearance. Okay, so The last lead that we have was in February of 2023. Billy Jack Lynx's truck was tested for forensic evidence after being impounded for decades. It had been sold at an auction and then tracked down by law enforcement. Blood and hair was recovered from under the floor mats, but unfortunately, it did not have enough DNA to make a definitive match to Morgan. But clothing fibers matching Morgan's last known garments that she was wearing, which was a Girl Scout uniform, were found in the truck. Assume, of course, they took them and tested them. I don't know how, she, of course, disappeared. The shirt she was wearing disappeared with her. So I don't know, unless they just find her or the shirt she was wearing. There's really no way to compare these fibers to the actual shirt that she was wearing. And like I said, Billy Jack died in prison in 2000, so authorities are unable to question him if he had any involvement in Morgan's disappearance. So to recap, Morgan was last seen in the ballpark in Alma, Arkansas on June 9th, 1995. She was just 6 years old at the time. On the left, they have an age progressed picture to 27 years old if she was still alive. Unfortunately, I don't believe that she is alive. Like I said, I think she was probably killed shortly after she was abducted. If you know anything or have any information about Morgan or her disappearance, please call the Alma Police Department at 479-632-3333. Like I said, this is a very sad case. This is probably the first case that got me, that just captured my attention. It was just, of course, all over the news here in Arkansas, 24/7, as it should be, and it should still be in the spotlight, being as it is still an open case and not solved. This case, I just so want to know what happened to Morgan. It just eats me up. I just want to know so bad. This case and the West Memphis 3 case are my two biggest cases here in Arkansas that I want to know what happened. I may revisit the West Memphis 3 case at some point. On that case, not to get into it too much, but I kind of go back and forth on that case about whether I think that Damien and Jesse and the other one whose name has slipped my mind, of course, if they're guilty or not. Of course, recently, Damien Eccles is trying to get the evidence retested, because they do have evidence that they found, and with the advancements in DNA technology, they're pushing for it to get to be tested. For some reason, the district attorney or whoever is not wanting it to be tested, for who knows what reason. Like I said, that's a whole other can of worms. But I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want it to be tested, to find out one way or another whether West Memphis 3 were guilty or not guilty. Or if they find DNA from another offender, somebody else who could have committed the crimes. But anyway, I digress. Thanks so much for watching. If you like it, please give a thumbs up. Comment on it, share it. get it out there. The more comments and shares, the more YouTube pushes it out. More people see it. We need to keep Morgan's name out there, keep her memory alive, so she is never forgotten, just like all the other victims that I share. So until next time, please do take care of yourselves. Sorry, I'm trying to get my take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Take care of each other. It's the best, most important thing we can do is take care of our fellow man, woman, child. I will see you later. Thanks again for watching.